Marvin Williams say, who is gonna run for relay? I don't understand what Marvin Williams I say. Who is gonna run for sudden relay? Sorry, Marvin, I don't understand that. Moreland. Harold Moreland. People coming up, but I don't seem to be hearing them. They are not hearing me. Right? Everybody in the box hearing me, right? Petal,
Yes, Petal. Yeah, my boy. Yes,
What
yes, Chuck. Yes,
you
Chuck.
see? Let me
Petal, I
tell
hear
you
you.
what is on here.
go ahead, Philippians. Philippians, go ahead. All right, guys, I'll just say,
Person that are coming up, they're coming up for gifts.
oh, everybody want to come up and enjoy a piece of the fruits of the labor. Okay.
Yeah, they do that sometimes. But Elder is asking, please, I just can't understand. Is the oath they wanted or
Elder, send me a request and come up, make we talk, Elder.
their money?
Elder is a seasoned comrade. Comrade. Bring up Elder. Come, Elder.
Understand? Is the house they wanted or their money? That's not how you spell there in this sentence.
Not,
THER
it
money. So
was,
how comes church? Then if the church see them member go get kicked out on the street and they might tell him pastor.
make we help. Right? The church offered to help. The church said, let us pay off the man's debt and save him house. And they refuse. Lola Gray Baker said when they were auctioning off her house, she got somebody willing to buy it for more than what it was being auctioned for. And they refuse.
And she said her husband's sister who live
Yes.
overseas got out, was willing to give them, pay off all that they owed, and they were denied.
And they were denied because it was about a robbery. Elder, what's the question now, Elder?
Yes. I noticed the lady Liquor is bashing where it's not how you spell it. Madam, if I make a mistake, I am not a dunce. Bear that in mind first. What I'm saying, Chuck, is that based upon the calculation that you're doing there.
Yeah.
Now, you said that it was some collectors, so it would be debtors collector like doing this, right?
The Jamaica Redevelopment Company was a collection agency.
Yeah, right. Now, so I am asking if the church intervene and say we will pay, why take the house? And it is the money. It is the money they want. So why take the house? If the
Because
church say
at
I
that
will
time,
pay.
Elder, at that time, it wasn't about the money. It was about taking these people's property. Because other persons have their eye on the man's house.
Did
The
you hear
house.
the part? Did you hear the part where she said they used to have Sunday meetings where they met and they were picking and choosing who was gonna get which property?
Yes, they were dangling the people's property all over. Right? To see who can get what. So it wasn't about the money at the time. It was more about a land grab. And more than one. More than one of them say it. Say we try. People were willing to pay more than what they were being paid
Excuse me,
for.
Chuck. Chuck, excuse me. Pablo says
Say
that he
Pablo.
was trying to message you, but it failed.
Tell Pablo, try it again now. Try it again, Pablo. Right? More than one of these persons that Elder gone already.
Elder, you can stay in the box.
Elder gone already. G said no. G, I think is a Scotia of our NCB petal.
Scotia.
Okay, so G said you can send him the Scotia account, so you can Inbox just send James Kosher account so G can do something. Right? So at a point, for those who, it wasn't about any collection of debt. It wasn't about collection of any debt. It was more about taking away these people's property. It was a redistribution of wealth. It was, as Carlton to run it with, the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. Right? You didn't get to hear him. He's up on YouTube, you know, Joan Clark. He's over there, man. You can go listen to him speech, man. Right? Richard Palmer, big up yourself. Right? So it was about transferring, taking away the properties. It was about resetting the finances of Jamaica, making some people super rich and making some know them place. Right? It was about putting people in the place where you think them belong. How dare a little black skinned man like me, Jacques Willis, go own big house in a decent community? Last night,
I think they want to reset what is happening now, and that is why they're carrying in the man. A lot of little man, they're now surviving and you know, starting their little small business. And so a lot of helpers are getting more places to clean because of the Airbnbs that are going up. People are getting more, like the truck, what do I call them? The bearers, they're getting more work, you know, because a lot of business places are opening.
So what that means, Philippians, that the business confidence is once again returning to
Up, and they want to, yes, they
right.
want
The
to
entrepreneurial spirit is coming back. People are once again willing to take the chance to invest in Jamaica because they look on now and then see some level of stability. They see a government that will not abandon them. Right? And how do we know? Look at SSL. Remember, SSL is what they are trying to compare to FinSAC, you know. The government stepped in and they are ensuring that people will get their money back. Not just the super rich like Bolt, but everybody that is there. So we don't care just about the rich. We have to make sure everybody that is there get their money back. Right? But I know that's all on it there. We still have to play our part in bringing the message out there. Right? And we have to fight against some evil soul who are blinded by some of them I get $100 credit, some of them I get 100 Canadian dollar, and they are blinded by that. So they must stifle themselves for information that can guide them in making a good decision. Sweet in the middle, bless up yourself. Right? You have to get them, get the information so people can make decision based on what these people have done in the past and that they have shown absolutely no remorse for what happened. They have not admitted to themselves or to Jamaica that, hey, we may have made a mistake with the policy that we pursued and we will not have it happen again. No. As according to the party leader that them have now, thermoplastic. And yes, Mr. Pang. What did the name of the gentleman who had there yesterday? The gentleman come yesterday and he asked about the factories. Him just see no factories in Jamaica. And you're right, the factories are not here. I said the first anniversary sweet. All right. I hear you. I hear you. But the factories are not here because who's going to run for Sir Chilani? Miss Morrison Dalrymple Filbert. Yeah, Marvin, Miss Dalrymple Filbert will be the candidate for Chilani. Right? Where was I? Yeah. A lot of them, you see out there right now, don't take the chance to get themselves abreast of what is happening or what has happened to Jamaica and Jamaicans during that time. So when you see them can come on the platform and tell you, say, oh, these were the best times in the history of the country. Yeah, but for who? As Miss Baker asked them last night, best time for who? Who is celebrating those best time? Right? Best time for who? Best time for a man who rack up billions of dollars off of the back of poor people, off of the back of Jamaicans that were crying out for help. Right? Them no like, you agree with the Philippines, they no like when young people are open business. They, not even young.
Then the great reset them want to know is the great reset them want.
The great reset, they want FinSac 2.0.
Right. Because you know why you compete with them.
Then exactly, a Mark Golding.
A whole heap of business are open right now. Whole heap of small business, beer business, cleaning business. Whole heap. When you have more businesses, when you have more houses, people are buying houses, you have enough of them have employ people and whatever and want cleaning service and them don't want people to survive. They want to come back and
Hello, guys. Can I come in for a minute here?
Go ahead, Mr. Palmer.
I was growing up in the 70s, born in the middle 60s. And never in the history of Jamaica I've ever seen so much women owning their own house and having their own cars. Never seen that before. So that have to be progress, that have to be prosperity.
Never. I saw a new video this morning, Mr. Palmer, the police woman going into the dealership and driving out her brand new 2024, I think it was a Suzuki Jeep. Brand new, it was the police in a khaki suit, you know.
But Chuck, if afternoon guys, if only because we were on Chopper Live this morning, and if only I don't know this lady by the name of Fatiar, that's her name and the thing. She came in and she were talking about, because my thought was all the teachers them nowadays. I love the educators here. Understand? But my thought is they are the dunces set of people, some of them, not all. And the lady came in and she was saying, boy, when PMP did a run this, all them suffer, and she was going on, but then Chopper Live has ended like just abruptly like that. It was I don't know. I wish that lady we could have actually get her back to come and talk. Huh?
She was saying what?
Yeah, she was saying that in the PMP time, even the 4 years, it was the worst time. You understand? But no, people, all the teachers, them we are run, we are going, all whole heap of them coming back. Because what people need to look at, you know, and what a lot of these teachers, that's the reason why I said they're dunce. If in all of those first world countries, you understand, it's not like they're making new schools and all of that. It's the same schooling system, the same system that is in place. They're literally using, and the teachers, it must be a reason why the teachers are leaving United States, are leaving from the classroom. It got to be a reason. Nobody now gonna just get up and just leave a well-paid job like that. You understand? So that is it. When the teacher them leave with the expectation, say yes, they might make $6,000 a month or $7,000 a month. They don't look back and it, so them have to go pay $3,000 for rent, one next $2,000 for this, and thereabout. So those are the things they are not. So I was talking about those stuff, and she said, boy, she's sorry for hear me. I said the teacher them are done, but she does have to kind of agree.
I wouldn't, Mario, I wouldn't call them dunce. I wouldn't style them as dunce, because majority of them, Mario, is when they get the offer, or when they talk to the recruiter, whoever come to recruit them, the recruiter sometimes don't tell them the full story. Yeah? The recruiter, we come and tell them, say, you're going to earn $6,000 a month. And they will count, $6,000 a month, that is almost $1 million Jamaican, that, you know. Yeah, man. They can't put on $2,000 US a month and make do, I do, yes. But what they don't get is the reality. I just say probably $2,000 I go to rent, and you have to pay tax. right? And you have to get this, you have to get that. And food expensive, that expensive.
Would you believe when I said that she agree with me? She said you can't call her a spade and something else. She agree with me. I said, boy, it is sad to say, but a lot of us as educators, and she were talking about it. I said back then, she said that she has been teaching from in the 90s or something like that. It's only if she actually would pass by her wherever she's from, if somebody literally hear me talking about her and invite her to come to the live and she could
Mario,
her conversation.
Mario. We try to reach out to her, but I mean, we send her a message because we was trying to get her on Kids Done live, but I mean, I don't know if she see the message yet, but yeah, we try to reach out to her, but yeah, we haven't getting a responses yet, so I don't know. Maybe she see that at a later date and then try to reach out back, but yeah, we did try to reach out at her.
Maybe she see it and come back.
Mr. Chuck, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Gold man.
Yeah, man. You know, sir, if you follow up on most of the teachers them are left go foreign. If you follow up on them background, you know, enough of them not go to teach.
No, them teach for like a year or depends on whole lot. Remember them have to sign a contract, you know.
Yeah, but after a time, they run left it and go and do some other type of work.
Yes. Because remember, you know, guys, just for this school year, the United States said them short over 300,000 teachers. Now, it's not new school them bill, as Mario said, no new school them bill. That means 300,000 teachers either retire or leave the work and do something better. So basically, as somebody, I don't remember who me put it away, I said, Jamaicans are running away to take what US consider low paying jobs. But it's not, I know the guys, I know today teacher go US. I know today, the teacher migration, I know today it start.
Long time something that.
Long time, years.
Years something that.
I have an aunt that went to the US to teach from both in the 90s. Because for places like US and England, it is cheaper to come to countries like Jamaica or the Philippines and recruit a nurse rather than to train one. It is cheaper to recruit a nurse, a teacher from Jamaica rather than to train one. Right? So that process has always been there. And like they say, when a teacher get a job offer and decide to take it, we need to stop make them feel like they're doing something wrong. Like I say, most of them go, and you have lots of them right now that is actually returning home. Go over there, then try it, and them in our work. But most of them, why most of them we take it up is a chance to relocate them entire family without any hustle. Because when they do it, they're promised citizenship. And if you can't get your picnic them up there and all of that up there, so most people want for them pick the group over there. So
But one thing here, Chuck. When Obama was president, what he did, he set up the government workers' salary, give them high salary and benefits. So a lot of the teachers leave in the classroom to go and take up government work.
yes. But remember, in Jamaica, we have the same thing, a prime minister that make government salary so much attractive now.
No, but
Including teachers.
the thing is, Chuck, what she was saying this morning as well. You know, she said the PNP coming and talking like I just know teacher leave. She said she can't recall back then, way done. I remember how long she said it was. She said that country them there. And them have some people who are recruit teacher and whole heap of them get up from the country and run go Portland for some recruitment for send go overseas. And enough people find out that it was nothing never did they. So they had to went back to the country. So it was a crazy her story. I was just listening to it and it's just a pity. I don't know what happened to that live this morning. It was so awesome. You understand? And it would be good if we could get her back.
Me was a long time teacher leave. I know nothing strange to me. Me have family.
It's from in the 70s that I am aware of because I know of teachers who migrate for that purpose in the 70s.
Yes. Long time. So when you see the PMP and the PMP back media and them organization coming out to tell you that, oh, we have a crisis because teachers are migrating. We don't have no crisis. Yeah. As much as teacher migrate, we graduate well over 2,000 teachers every single year. Between Michael, Sam Sharp, Shartwood, and all the other teachers program we have. We graduate over 2,000 teachers every single year. Right? And let me tell you why I know it's a non-argument. Because when that fact was pointed out to them, to me, we graduate more teachers than we leave. Then they start use the term, oh, sorry. What we meant to say is that we are lose our experienced teachers. If a teacher was being recruited overseas, why would I do with over 2,000 people sit there where you them teachers course every year? What would I do with them? Would have people just train and sit down at the yard? No. We don't have a teachers migrating crisis. We have no crisis. Yes, some people get an opportunity and them take it.
But the thing is, Chuck, the PNP will run at this point now at how desperate they are. They're trying to run with every single thing. We are here talking now. I mean, I go surprised if they're not going to cut and splice something that you said, or me said, or somebody said, cut and splice that AI. They did it to Mr. Vegas. Now them say a Veronica Campbell Brown are going to run down a South Chilani for Dalry. It is just crazy, the conspiracy theory that they're running with. It's just beg to say these people them put out them thing about a thing and them not no nothing at all for go with it. Nothing for back it up. You understand?
Let us tell about the teachers them in Florida. When them semester finish and the grade is not good, they fire them. Yes, they fire them. Because the kids they're not doing good in the school and the grade go down, they fire them. And a lot of teachers have to get their masters. Coming to America, a lot of them, I hear the gentleman say, they go back home. Because it's harder. It's harder in Florida than America. Because they have their masters.
They man a performance-based system over there.
Right. If you don't perform, you get fired.
Exactly. And on top of that, the kids, they are very disrespectful.
Oh, yes.
In every way you can think about it. So it's not a better rules. I heard a family member of mine, she said that she's a teacher. It's not that she said. She's a teacher in a state. And she had to leave that state and go to another state to find it because she wanted the benefit where she could actually take her kids there. You understand? If she was a teacher, I think for what, 2 years or something like that, she could have taken her kids there. So those are the opportunities a lot of the people they are taking on. You understand? And the teaching thing there is very difficult, as the gentleman said. If they can't keep the grades up, they might get fired. That's just it.
But
So
look
when
what times.
when they come to America, plenty teachers do not go back into teaching. Because when they go, they have to do a test and their grade have to be good. They leave and go study nursing or do something else.
But look how much time the Jamaican government tried to implement a performance-based pay for our teachers. And the Jamaica Teachers Association is always up in arms refusing it. But yet still, when they run overseas, is the performance-based system they run under.
Right.
Performance-based system they run under. And that is it. So what they are willing to do in America to earn them pay, they have to work, they have to show the grades, as I say. If they don't keep the grades to a certain level, they're out of a job.
Right. If the kids them not getting, say you go to an A school and the A school fall and gone to D. All the headmaster, the headmistress, a lot of them, they fire them and bring in new
Right.
ones.
But
Yeah,
yet,
they do that.
but yet in Jamaica, the CXC result pass and everybody tell us that the government fault.
No.
Nobody is holding the teachers accountable in Jamaica.
And to get headmaster, headmistress, them have to have their doctorate. They have doctorate degree. It's not like Jamaica. Teachers move up to the headmistress or headmaster. It's not like that over here.
Alton, one of the most non-progressive organization in Jamaica is the Jamaica Teachers Association.
Right.
The Jamaica Teachers Association people cares nothing about educating our children. Them care zero. All them care about is how much money them can get, because the more money them get for the teacher, them the more dues them collect.
That's true.
And one of the revelations what we get right here, is this. 75 cents out of every single dollar that is allotted to education goes to the teachers.
Yeah, but
75 cents out of every dollar goes directly to teachers, not to teaching the kids, goes to teachers.
Chuck, don't you know that is an arm of the PMP?
Yes. That is the first affiliate group of the People's National Party, the Jamaica Teachers Association.
But you know that the younger generation is moving away from the PMP, the teachers, them. Most of them, is moving away from the PMP. Some of them.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Right? I very well hope that they are opening their eyes and realize that it was them PMP, most of them are run behind, have them under what?
A spell.
Consecutive year of wage freeze. Yes, Andrew, they were against the performance pay. But no, all of them can afford to buy a brand new vehicle. All of them can afford to pay off them loan. All of them can buy a house.
Can I never expect this money? It's the first time I ever get this kind of money in Jamaica.
Not
even in the US, I get the money.
But
Like the Jamaican teacher,
I
them I
came
get.
on alive, Chuck, me not remember if I hear live or Chop's live, but there was this teacher came on alive the other day. And the teacher was like, boy, him appreciate what the government did, because him could have able to put on one room when he did have that they were start.
I did over here, so did I remember.
Exactly. You understand? And he still did have money in his pocket left. And these are the thing, though.
What
I
about
have, I have two family members. They are very close to me. In fact, them are labor right as well. You understand? And they're teachers. Both of them. They're teachers. And they're saying that in their teaching career, you understand, they work under both government. And they said to me, Mario boy, at the best up to the other day when them get the big money, them said, why Mario?
pension?
I lie to you.
Yes.
Money sweet.
It's true.
Yeah.
A
But
lady
I
was
think they're not
talking
even
and
out to talk about it.
yeah, a lady
Now
and Cliff
ask
Rude
the
was talking
government what the
about it.
government doing. And that's how the Teachers Association is now. You see the Teachers Association and the Nursing Association. I remember what that woman the name what she did about now she left.
Edith Hallwood Anderson.
Yes. Them PMP people, them I tell you say boy, they have no regards for Jamaica. They only care about their pockets. That's just it.
Majority of those organizations are party first. They're in love with the party, and as long as the party is in power, they will take anything. Yes, Bariki, the Police Federation too, all of them. But as you talk about the Police Federation, last night we passed a discussion with a couple of PNP operatives. And when we talk about these people discussing things that they choose to lie to people. Because they're having a discussion that Dennis Brooks, who was a presenter nationwide, he then went on to join the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Them said Dennis Brooks joined the force 2 years ago as a district constable. No. He's a simple man with a on TikTok. But Dennis Brooks' position in the JCF was senior communications officer. I am not sure if that was the exact thing, but I know that was what he did. No. Does a constable get that position? That's for one, no. But
Gotta be an officer.
ago,
A sergeant.
Bobby Montague, that they made that offer that says if you have a college degree and you want to join the force, we're gonna start you at this rank. So once you
Like
go
the
in,
military, like the military.
yes, you're gonna start at a
Yeah.
certain rank once you have the degree. Then this book have a degree and in join. So the fact that he's now being promoted, they are saying that, oh, a reward, he might get reward. Because you can't, oh, he was a district constable last year, and now he might get promoted to senior superintendent.
Because he
And,
went with a degree.
yeah, but you cannot promote a man from constable to senior superintendent.
You can. You can. If you take the test and pass the test, he can get it. Remember one time police in Jamaica, they never bright, you know.
Here you go.
They never bright. So you have to remember now them they're refixing the police force in Jamaica. Like the US or Canada, England. If a man going within 10 degree bright, you gotta keep him as a private.
No.
That's it. You have to move him up.
Right.
Just like the military. You go and take a test. Yeah.
Right. And when the Labour Party first came in, there was what? There was I think they were saying there was a problem with the promotion system in the JCF where there was nowhere to promote people. He was a DSP. Thank you. I know he's promoted to a SSP. Yes. So when you have the degree, them start you at a DSP. Yes. Once you enter with your degree, you started at that rank. So that was an initiative that was brought in by Bobby Montague, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
That says
I think it's a good move. I think it's a very good move.
it's a good move. But you know what? If you find a way to cheat and everything, once you achieve something there against you,
Right.
once you achieve something, the PMP will be against you.
That's it.
Presently, the force is in such a way that it cannot be politicized anymore.
That's true.
And I made that statement because during the 90s coming up, for those of us who can remember that before every general election, the police force would go into Tivoli Garden and kill 20 people. Think back, it happened in 93, it happened in 97, and it happened in 2002.
I've been at Clarendon too.
Yes, before every election, them go down there and them kill off some people. It was under that same situation where them get the sound bite. When Adams is going to tell them, say, Tiaga offer them safe passage. Right?
But Adam is a well-known PMP, you know.
Of course.
The man one named Bigger Ford.
Then,
Them try to go down John Road giving out to gunman.
remember, you
Bigger
know,
Ford and Adam was taking the gun down to Jungle and giving the gunman them it.
remember, you know, that Adams was so powerful in the force that he tell the police commissioner, say, listen to me. You never hire me. So you can't fire me.
Right.
Go to the prime minister.
I am not a bright man, you know. Adams is not a bright person.
So right now you have a whole heap of people that clamor out that tell you what they say. Oh, make Adams the police commissioner. That would be one of the most devastating mistakes Jamaica ever.
Why PMP never give him? Because they know say man is not bright.
Yeah.
But look here, but come off of them. We know when you want to talk about PMP. Just talk about what my party doing and my leader, what my doctor is doing in Jamaica, and doing wonders.
Wonderful.
After one again, guys, I want to go now update. I don't know how many of you have seen that video where that gentleman has destroyed one of the newly bus that the government have received the other day. I don't know how many of you seen that video, but the last update on it is that the person has been identified and the police now is on their move looking for him. So they have accelerated to tell him to turn himself in.
Right.
Hey, Nathaniel, did the teacher reach out back to you when he texted her? You not hear me?
Yes?
The teacher, what with that interview this morning? She reach out back to you yet?
No.
No.
I
Okay.
try to talk to her, but I still not get nothing from her.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario. Yeah. Nathaniel reach out to the teacher.
That gentleman mash up the JLP bus is now being identified by the police, and they're now on their hunt for him. So he's been asked to bring in himself.
When that happened? When that happened?
Like sometime today happened, you know.
No, man, not today. I think it was day before yesterday.
Is that today or the day before yesterday?
They need to lock him up and throw away the key. He said it was PMP. They just destruct the country, much of the country. Oh man, I never hear about that. It was on the news.
I don't remember seeing it on the news, but there's a video of it going around.
Man, there's a viral video going around. This is the taxi boy we're fleeing at the bus and all of them stuff. So if it's a viral video going around, you will, if you stick around on TikTok a little bit, you will see it.
Yeah, man, I watch it.
I have to go on Mr. Darrell Vaz page, you will see it.
Okay.
Yeah, man, so they need to track down people like those and them to bear.
Well, because he won't let his vehicle in it. It's my taxi driver in the operator private vehicle.
So what was
he won't let the vehicle.
Man, the bus.
Yeah, after I do and I try to get me and the bus man banking now and he's slamming at the bus. He won't let the vehicle. Because the people them come out of the bus to attack him.
We need to they catch him and arrest him.
Maybe him gonna hate you by now.
I think he can't go to Bada. That's how we have to go.
He can't go through Jack. The place will protect him. He can't touch his sea. The touch his sea that time in passer.
He go here, fisherman.
We have new boat to patrol the seas, so them can't cross over there. That's me, them the big boss.
Yeah, right now, but thank you in himself.
I hope he hang himself with you. Known PMP destroyers, man. I swear to God, they are so illiterate and dumb.
Yes.
Right, but I just say, let me find back my list.
Yeah. Anybody watched the meeting in St. Catherine in Portmore? It was very good.
Yes, man, it was an excellent gathering.
Boy, it was good, man.
Excellent gathering.
Time I there Jamaica truck in my area that I come from St. Ann, but Portmore me live. Boy, I'm sorry, Jamaica.
But you see, I remember, I don't live in Jamaica, but we watch it live.
Just make sure when the bell ring, you find your classroom.
No, man, I come home next week, but you're not easy.
I miss Mr. Warmington's speech, boy. I miss Mr. Warmington. I miss his speech.
I'm a good
Warmington's speech is now making its round on social media.
Warmington is good, man. Good.
Right. So, Mr. Alton, you were saying about the things that is going on in Jamaica now. Let me go over my list.
All right.
We can go through them one. Number one on my list is that we presently have 4 hospitals under construction.
Right.
Unprecedented in Jamaica history. And as we say yesterday, as can to the People's National Party, their solution is not to build out the hospital infrastructure, is to buy some bed.
Okay.
Right? But Jamaican hospital, yes, them said there's a shortage of beds. The shortage of bed, as I say, is not because there is no bed. The bed where they're full. So when you buy new beds, what do you do with them?
Yeah, I know where to put them.
Thank you. But the PMP say, buy bed.
Them an idiot, man.
right? And put them where?
Put them outside on the corridor of the hospitals.
Thank you. That must be the idea.
I don't think the PNP understand what is happening in Jamaica. That is the biggest problem. They are
That
out
is
of
the
touch.
biggest problem.
In reality, they are so in sync and connected to their dogma and their talking points that they are out of touch with the reality.
The reality.
They don't know what is happening in Jamaica.
Right. So,
No, I want to say that to them. Them know, but them don't want the public to know how good the Labour Party is doing. You see, the Labour Party gonna open part of Montego Bay Hospital. Gonna be open. You know about that, right?
yes, there's gonna be a field open of the corner.
Right. You know. So you have to let the Jamaican
Jobs?
people know.
Jobs,
Yeah, man.
I am glad you're joining us.
Hey,
And I
Chap.
saw you in a couple of rows. But let me tell you, I don't know if you was listening earlier. When I say I have a base starting of $11,000 on my TikTok account. And I say between this month, today, and next week, Monday, I am urging people to donate. And everything that it add up to next week, Monday, will go to Mr. Meshach Willis.
Good.
Well done.
Everything so far. I have a couple of people in the chat who say they will be sending some Zels. So I tell them to reach out either to myself or Petal,
Yes, sir.
and we can get it going. So
Not to me. I don't hang funds.
I would say this is the first I have ever do that. But I said to myself or Petal, and then we'll put them to the proper channel. For those who want, can get his bank account to make direct deposit. As we say, there is no agency fee, no administrative costs.
No, give me a cut out of it.
No, give me a cut out of it. Right? Whatever you send will go directly to Mr. Willis.
Yeah.
Right.
Gentlemen, Mr. Willis is very grateful for the assistance. And we have some bigger plans. And our ultimate goal is to get him the ultimate assistance.
Ultimate one. Look
Mr. Willis was a man who had his house, 6-bedroom house, at Patrick City. Anybody who know Patrick City house in the 1990s, Patrick City house used to sell for 15 million and them money then. And 15 million back in the 1990s was 50 million today. Right?
Right.
And a Patrick City house in the 90s, with the type of land space a Patrick City house have, was golden.
Golden.
And he lost all of that. Did he lose his house because he was a poor businessman? No. Never did. He lost his house because the PNP instituted bad economic policies. High interest rate. Claiming that they're mapping up liquidity in the market. Huh? High interest rate. Moving interest rate from 18% to 150 in some cases.
Right.
Now you tell me, if you even sell hard drugs, you could never pay that sort of interest rate.
No one could survive that. Good evening, Angel. No one could survive that. So that was the reality that faced Meshach Willis and others. Right, but like I say, I believe that right now, Meshach Willis is the worst of them right now. Right? And we are trying to restore little dignity to his life. As Chap said, the ultimate goal is to get him the ultimate prize that all of us need. That some PMP will tell us it can't stop poverty. But we all get him one. Get him back a little dignity in the eyes of his children. I hear Miss Lola Gray speak of his daughter the time she was a teenager. Imagine you are a teenager going to a prominent high school in the 90s. and your family is cast out on the street, what would that do to a young teenage girl back then? What would it do to a young teenage girl now? Nathaniel, mute your mic.
But the thing that you must ask yourself, is that there are persons in Jamaica today who have an interest in ruling or controlling Jamaica or running for high office in Jamaica. And those persons told us that they were the ones who orchestrated, engineered what took place in the 1990s. In other words, they created the Meshack Willises. It was their decision. Now, here's a challenge I have. Not challenge, but here is some of the things that kind of bug my mind. Miss Eula Gray Baker would have stated that she believed that both political parties benefited, or members of both political parties benefited from the quote-unquote spoils of the FinSac debacle, which is really not accurate. Right. And I did think I did correct that last night. Because though both individuals might have purchased properties connected to FinSac, my issue is not the persons who buy the asset per se, but is the ones who created the environment for those assets to be sold. The people who, by the stroke of a pen, invoke high interest rate policies, the persons who sit in high offices and apartments up in New Kingston and up in Cherry Garden, auctioning person's house, deciding who is going to buy what, when, where, how. Those are the persons who have questions to answer. The persons who did not make a decision to create FinSac are not the ones who we have a problem with. We don't have a problem with the persons who did not create that crisis, because they were mere investors. And an investor saw opportunities, they are going to take it. So our beef is with the ones who created the environment.
The financial engineers.
And the government that was in office at the time happens to be the People's National Party. And the Minister of Finance at the time when FinSac was created happens to be Dr. Omar Davis. It is Mark Jefferson Golden who told us that during the 1990s, he was the architect, he did the financial engineering that was required in the sector at the time. He was the go-to guy.
But don't leave out Mr. Patterson. Don't leave out PJ.
PJ was the Prime Minister. But I am narrowing this down to Dr. Omar Davis and his advisor. I didn't hear PJ's comment on FinSac. I heard that of Dr. the Honorable at the time. I don't know how honorable he is, but Omar Davis. And I would have heard from Mark Golden. So those are the two I have an issue with. Yeah, man.
And him is the one, Chopper Deal. He's the one said run with it, right?
That was Omar Davis.
Oh.
Omar Davis.
Yes, could he do those things without the Prime Minister agree to it?
Well, the Prime Minister agreed to the Minister of Finance. If he's not a financial engineer, then he has to listen to the directive of the Finance Minister. But you have to understand, folks, that you're dealing with a political party, the PNP,
right,
whose mode of operandi is consistent. When they got the country again, and I will always go back to it, I will sound like a broken record, but I don't care. Somebody will hear it. Somebody who never hear it the 5,000 times when we say it before will hear it now the 5,001.
Correct.
But in 1972, the same economic climate that we are in today, we had similar climate in 1967, in 1968, 1969, 1970, right up until 1972. We had robust economic growth to the extent where it would have been recorded as the highest economic growth on record.
Right.
There has been no other period in Jamaica's history that we recorded more growth than we did in 1972. And I don't know if anybody can guess what happened in 1972. But in 1972, the said year that we recorded that growth, the PNP won a general election and formed
Here,
government.
here comes Michael Manley.
And that the,
Michael Joshua
and that
Manley.
the promise that better must come.
Jamaica has ever seen.
And he said better must come. Well, as history would have it, from 18.5 or 18.5% economic growth to negative 5%, losing 20% of our GDP. Huh? We were broke within 2 years. What do you think caused it? You think we had a hurricane in 72? You think we had a hurricane or earthquake in 73 or in 74? No, we didn't have any natural disaster. What we had was Michael Joshua Manley. What we had was a foreign affairs crisis that Michael Manley knew nothing about and could not handle. Matter of fact, he placed his personal political ambition over what was relevant to Jamaica.
True.
He placed his personal
Allegiance.
political alliance.
Yes, alliance, allegiance, yes.
Michael Manley wanted to be, at the time, the leader of the global anti-imperialist movement. Michael projected himself as a global leader. Michael did not focus on what was important to Jamaica. He was more focused on what was important to make him look good. So he aligned himself with people like Fidel Castro, Che Rivera, and all those leaders who were anti the United States.
Right.
Even though the US at the time was our closest and strongest ally, Michael cut against the grain.
I will follow Fidel to the mountain top.
The mountain
He said
top.
it. He said it.
Said it.
He said it. He said it's a matter of principle. He said, I don't care what are the consequences. I'm standing on principle. So what that means, folks, it don't matter what happened. It doesn't matter how it's going to affect Jamaica. It is what I believe. Principle is something that you develop as an individual. You create your principle. You create what guides you. And Michael Manley stood on principle as it relates to foreign policy. And he did not give a damn about how it affects Jamaica. And as such, put us in the crosshair of the United States. And of course, we were in a Cold War era, Russia versus the USSR versus America. What did Fidel and Michael did? Stuck the middle finger to the United States and tell them to F off. And said, I will follow Fidel Castro to the mountaintop. Well, again, history will have it. He became unpopular. And who was our closest ally became our enemy. And by 1975, Michael was unpopular. He became the most unpopular prime minister this country has ever seen.
Right.
And he was staring down the barrel of a certain defeat. And what did that bastard do?
Call the state of
He
emergency.
declared a public state of emergency and did what only dictators, only people like Nicolae Ceausescu and those dictators would do. Only people like Kim Jong-un would do. Call a public state of emergency, lock up its opponent, and call a general election.
And let them out after
1976.
election night.
He released a song which was the manifesto of the PNP. A song that was done by Neville Martin 14 days before the general election. It was released.
Right.
My leader, Barnia. And that song today remains one of the most popular political songs in Jamaica. 36 copies were printed. 36,000 records were printed. and the PNP bought them out. Bought out all of the records and give them weapon platform all over Jamaica. When I go to places like Northeast Centre and Michael Manley touch the stage and say, people of Northeast Centre, what do you want?
Nothing, Joshua.
Nothing, Joshua. Just play the music. Play the music. People of Northeast Centre, what do you want? They say, we don't want nothing, Joshua. Just play the music.
Play the music.
And the sound man said, play the music, jump like Lego beats.
Lego beats.
Tip your water, wine your daughter, play the music sweet. Come on. So if you don't think this is a joke, you make a sad mistake. That is a brief history of the PNP.
And Chopper,
Yeah.
this is that about Spy Robinson.
No,
Mr. Shah was so smart. Him said him go retirement to it. I think the young labor right them don't know. But it's a deal. Then said Spy Robinson go down there for spy on Labour Party. But Mr. Siaga was so smart, he never sent him to retirement road. He said, we used to keep Young Jamaica meeting. And I remember when him come there and carry on and we said, we don't trust this man. And when we went to Montego Bay, then send the army surrounded the meeting the Labour Party have. They let us go through to find back Kingston and lock up Babsy, Yap Sang. Anybody hear about
Proto Charles.
Pete, he come from Portland. He was a captain in the army.
Peter was not a Jamaican. Peter was a British man.
Errol Anderson too.
Yeah,
Errol Anderson.
Peter was a British man.
But Peter was born in Portland, he was living in Portland.
No, but he was a British subject.
Oh, okay.
He was also detained.
Yes.
And when he was detained and he told them that he was a British subject,
right,
they released him.
Right. That's
because the constitution did not give rise to them holding on to a British subject under a public state of emergency.
Right.
That is why Mark Golding was batting on a very sticky wicket, or is batting on a very sticky wicket.
Right.
So yes, the 1970s was a period that we now want to revisit.
No.
Because they lock up Babsy Grange, put her on a flight and tell her, go thy way.
And don't come back to
and don't to return to this land.
Right.
Yeah.
Exile from our own country.
And Yappy. Yeah. They put Yappy on the cold concrete.
Mike Henry was shot.
Yap Sang.
Yes.
The Vanguard, man. Yap Sang.
Can I give you guys a bit of history in 1976?
Yes, sir. Please do.
The federal budget deficit was 65.6 million. That was a deficit, and it was a record deficit at that time, and that was caused by bad management of the economy.
And the economic downfall of the 70s was how much, sir? What percentage did we fall behind?
25%.
25%. And what percent were we at in 1972 when they came in office?
I haven't done that research yet.
Well, please, sir, because when I say these things sometime, I want people to challenge me, Right. And I've been saying this for the last 20 years, and I can't find a single comrade that can come to me and tell me that we did not turn over a booming economy to the PNP in 1972. I can't find one yet, and I look like I might have got put a reward out there. Right? But yes, we were growing.
Not even 1 year, we have no money. No money.
Broke.
Right.
Right.
Broke because of bad management.
Right. Five years to me catch one. Don't ask the people that never catch it.
There was a PWD office up by Alfred Tree.
Yeah.
Where them say everybody used to go collect them check. One bad man that was aligned to the PNP went there 1 month and collect some 200 checks.
Yeah.
At the time, I believe you could only write the checks in for a certain amount. Right? And he went and collect 200 of them in his name. That is how government money was dealt with back then.
Right.
Right?
True.
That is the history. Where Omalo is here, that is the history of the People's National Party management of our taxpayers' money. It come back again in 1992 when they were backing up cars down to the bank of Jamaica and loading up the trunks with cash.
But look here, man.
Yeah.
I remember when those dollars were being purchased, I was living in Ocharias at the time.
Oh.
And at the craft market, down a watch cross from the police station. Look a bit topside CO supermarket. With the craft market, there used to have a hotel cross and them in on the beach. When them boy line up crosses to buy dollars.
Hey.
And they have the work of money in them pocket. Some were sent by Central National Bank to buy dollars. And some were sent all the way from Kingston by the Bank of Jamaica. The Bank of Jamaica was purchasing dollars, for example, for $22 to $1 US. And the bank undercut them and said them a buy for $24, $2 extra. One Chinese man, I will never forget the story in my life. Chinese man had a man out there buying dollars for him. Don't know who he was related to, but he had a man out there buying dollars. And the man bought the dollars from the tourists. He was buying for 22. And the Bank of Jamaica man was buying for 20. And when the guy buy the dollars, the Bank of Jamaica man just take the dollars and go buy it back. Go sell it back to the man there.
For more money.
And make back his money right on the spot. And don't make 25 step forward or 25 step backward. And in collecting $2 per every dollar. And he load back the Jamaican dollar in the briefcase and carry it straight back to Kingston and give it to them and tell them, say, no, go on. No dollars now run.
Boy, Chabs, man, I lie. When me hear history people like you and Chuck and Alton, I love you on the talking, I love you on the beat and teach me. Just sorry, me not hear me.
When me say them things, I don't want nobody think say, hey, listen, mama, this when me say these things, I don't nobody tell me when me live it.
Live the experience.
When me da Ochi, when me live at Ochi, me da Ochi before Jack Ruby dead. One Music Avenue, James Avenue. No boy can't tell me how the West was one. When the Bank of Jamaica buy dollars underground black market US dollar, me there in the middle of it. No boy can't tell me about buying dollars at Ochi. Me don't want to tell you my antecedent, but you no go Google me will understand. Me know the road. A long time in the pandemic. Yeah.
Chaps, me read the comment and tell her what them I say.
Me never look for comment, me close my eye when me
no,
talking.
Man, but me like when you teach them. I like when you teach them because I like when people get information.
Yeah.
Mr. Omalo is the one who need information. Because anytime Labour write their life, him come through.
Look here.
Someone learn it look like.
Them the time there. When them a soup up and a gang up, I went to school in St. Mary. I went to Iona High School. Neville Blight's son Alicia and Christopher were my schoolmate and classmate, respectively. Right? Me rub shoulders with some of the richest folks because I went to school with Goben Picked them. Yeah? Yes. Shaheen, brother, all of them. So them no matter. So we have to go down in the history. But
Chaps, I want to know this.
Yes.
I see where this man said Michael Manley repeal of the Open Account Act caused the crash of 96. Do you have any knowledge of what he's referring to?
Repealing of the what? The Open Account Act?
I don't know if he's trying to say repeat or repeal, but I see repeal.
Well, let me tell you what Michael Manley did. Let me tell you what caused the collapse of the 1990s. Get your pen and paper. Let me tell you what Michael Joshua Manley did.
Get your recording device ready.
Get your pen and your paper. Let me tell you how the hurricane Michael came back in full force and came back wickeder than he was in the 70s. Yeah? Let me tell you, sir, Michael was wicked in the 70s and he returned with venom in the 1990s. Because remember, Michael Manley was anti-America. Yes. And dress up in a bush jacket and say he will follow Fidel Castro to the mountaintop and stick the middle finger in the United States. So don't remember that.
Yes, that's true.
And when he went to Russia, when he journeyed to the Kremlin, accompanied Fidel Castro, who spoke for an hour and 40 minutes and introduced Michael Manley as the next communist leader of the Caribbean. Michael literally handed over Jamaica to the Russians. And that was when the United States decided, said, this is Michael Manley, I cannot stay on here. Has to go. And the United States assisted Jamaica in removing Michael and save Jamaica from the brims of collapse. Enough labor right now, I agree. But the CIA helped remove him. And
Thank
it was
you.
the right thing to do.
And
Because we
Chopper,
had to save Jamaica. But watch me now.
tell them the Cubans
When-
must come up our camp, the plane.
When
with
the
Cuban,
Cubans
them
were
come
running
up our
Jamaica
camp.
in 1976, from 1976 onward, Cuba run Jamaica. Jamaica wasn't run like a sovereign state.
Correct.
Michael Manley did already hand us over to the Russians. So don't make nobody give no Nancy story. We did already sold to the highest bidder, and the highest bidder at the time was the Russian. They needed a strategic point because they had 148 missiles pointing to the United States, and they need Jamaica, they need Nicaragua, and they need Grenada. That was the Cold War, and Michael Manley offered up. Michael Manley offered up Jamaica and said, take it. So watch me now. The night, I'm going to tell you now, the man did wicked in the 70s, but he come back wickeder in the 90s. Remember, it was the same Michael Manley who never liked America.
Correct.
It is the same Michael Manley whom America never liked either. But as the history would have it, America don't have friends. They have interests. And anytime the interests change, the friendship change. In 1980, in 1980, 81, 82, and 83, Jamaica was the highest recipient of United States aid. The only country that run second to us at the time in receiving aids and grants from the United States was Israel. Hello?
Yes,
That is how important we were based on our strategic location in the Caribbean and based on the friendship that Eddie Seaga had with the United States. But bear in mind, folks, that there's no free lunch around here. Nothing no come for free. Because America know exactly what they wanted. And Eddie Seaga wasn't willing to give it. So by 1984, 85, we fell out of grace. And as God would have it, America, the greatest country on earth, dust off Michael Manley, take him out a bush jacket, put him back in a suit and tie, invite him to Washington, pep him up, wire him up, and send him back to Jamaica. And the same knife that stuck sheep in the 1970s is the same knife they used and stick the goat in the 1980s. Eddie Seaga became the enemy of the United States and was removed and replaced by Michael Joshua Manley. What were the conditions under which Michael came in office? Michael came in office because he was willing to do what Eddie Seaga wasn't willing to do. Eddie Seaga was told that he needed to do three things. He needed to pursue a deregulated economy, a privatized economy, and a liberalized economy, and a liberalized dollar in particular. So, when Michael Manley won the election in 1989, he went to Parliament in 1991. Me a little boy, I never forget. I was a little boy, me a young youth, but my interest was in politics.
Liberalization is a must.
And he put up his left foot on the stool and drink a glass of water and said, Jamaica will move forward on three pillars: liberalization, deregulation, and privatization. You hear me? He said Jamaica will move forward on three pillars: deregulation, liberalization, and privatization. Eddie Seaga at the time was the leader of the opposition and beckoned to him and said, man, whatever you do, Michael, you can deregulate the economy, you can privatize the economy, but do not liberalize the Jamaican dollar until you have adequate net international reserve.
Correct.
But Michael Manley, being the weak leader he is, an attempt to appease who him want to appease, he went full speed ahead like the Titanic captain who was told that there was an iceberg ahead. And he liberalized the Jamaican dollar without having adequate net international reserve. And I don't know if I need to tell you what happened, but it is that single act that caused the collapse of the Jamaican economy in the 1990s.
Right.
That single act of liberalization without adequate net international reserve that caused the collapse of our economy in the 1990s. That was what gave birth to FinSAC. FinSAC was supposed to be the saving grace. But again, you're dealing with the PNP. No matter what you put in the PNP hand, they are going to destroy it. And FinSAC was supposed to be the vehicle that would have saved the day. FinSAC was designed to get all the assets that went under, assess them, negotiate with the owners, and who can get back them property, get it back and pay them money and keep the engine going. But instead, Dr. Omar Davis closed the door. Did you know that the finance minister at the time actually resigned? It was parachute them to a helicopter and fly him right into the position. Omar Davis was never a man with any financial background. Matter of fact, I think his degree is in zoology, study of animals.
Not just a chops.
Well, if you think I'm lying, I beg for you to Google it. Go and Google what Dr. Omar Davis has his degrees in. Go
He must have it.
Don't take my word for it. I can guarantee you, though, it is not in finance.
So basically, he must have it.
Sir, I'm just saying to you, they gave the country's finances to a man who specialized in zoology. Let's leave it at that. Go and Google it. Don't take my word for it. And anything you hear, drop here, sir. You don't take my word for it. Go and verify it. So that is what happened. That single move cost us the 1990s. And at that point, the rest of the world was growing leaps and bounds, as my good friend Alan Francis would put it.
And under President Bill Clinton, America had no deficit. America took down the debt clock. Zero deficit.
Yes.
I remember they say anything America have, we catch.
Chopper, let me ask you something. You remember the known criminal that him take the Cuba as in bodyguard and it was an uproar in the country?
Who was it? Talking about the man who does serve pork.
Federman.
The man who does serve pork. You know, pork is like a national. You know that pork is like a national dish in Cuba.
Yes, sir.
And when you carry nasty nigger with you go, and if them on the table and say pork, them don't know if they act.
Yes, sir.
Turn over pork on table over there. How long did he live after? Never lived very long after that, though.
No. Michael him.
But that is the man. That is the metal of the man we're talking about, Joshua. But I tell you something.
Man who mash up Jamaica.
He's responsible for an entire period.
Yes.
And let me tell you something, guys. It is just simply bad policies. I don't think the PNP understand how the economy works. The PNP has never made it a point of duty to educate the Jamaican people and making them understand that the economy is what really drives the engine of growth in the country. They have never had that conversation with people because the People's National Party believe that it is better for persons to remain illiterate.
True.
And if you remain illiterate, then you will be dependent on them. And the more you depend on them, is the more they can control you.
Right.
They would prefer to create initiatives that can feed the poor. They would never create initiatives to uplift the poor.
No infrastructure.
They don't want to grow. They don't want to grow the middle class. A matter of fact, Michael have a history of telling the middle class that there's 5 flights a day to Miami. Choose one.
If you don't like it, the problem, chaps, is that in the 90s, the business class didn't get that choice. They never get the choice to pack up and leave.
They wish they had that choice.
They wish they had that choice.
That's why I tell you, saying come back wicked this time, because in the 1970s he told them to take a flight to Miami. But this time around in the 90s, they didn't have a chance to take a flight. He whipped them street and lane. Yes.
I tell Selena, what about Davis doctor at a wagon, you know, cause Selena.
Selena. Well, Selena, tell me, isn't it zoology? Somebody tell me now, please.
Churchill don't say it's geology. So it's not a vet, it's a gardener.
What is his thesis done in? Please, can somebody tell me? No joke.
Hey, Tapa.
Oh, Jesus.
Tapa, tell me about our PJ. He run PJ to the party and say, I will be back.
You need to go back. Wait, look here. For those I don't, who is it? Is Winner here? Because we need to find the Iran sugar deal. You think it's the 90s PJ create badness? It did bad from back in the 70s, man. Go
Iran sugar deal.
Iran sugar deal.
The shell waiver deal.
Right? Go look at the Iran sugar deal. I don't know if anybody understand what happened then.
And the shell waiver to chaps.
Well, yes, and shell waiver scandal too. With Hilton. Yes.
Those
yes.
two. And by the way, chaps, another one that has PJ hand over it was also the Rollins land deal too, you know.
Rollins land deal, man.
Yes.
Gave away countries, I said. Yeah, you think the PNP did good for Jamaica? Look here, no. I challenge any comrade in the box or any comrade in the chat who want to come in the box. I will challenge you that you cannot find a period in which the PNP governed Jamaica that there was success or economic development. I challenge any comrade.
Anyone, any comrade available,
let's start from 1962.
If Omar
to 1972
can take me out in a truck because me don't really want to hear chopper and that brother here.
Go I will take on 6 of them.
Omar, you want to come up?
Yeah, man, me will come out too, man. Me will come out too. Go on, me listen.
Chopper, there's you overlooking here.
Yes.
Remember, here Jamaica was literally given to Bush Road and he gave him money to run it.
All right, send me a request, Omar. Send me a request. Just request the back.
When he handed back to Jamaica, there was a debt of $52 billion of taxpayers after write-off.
He pay $1. Sell it back to Jamaica for $1.
$1. And say it was a burden off his shoulder.
Lifted off his shoulder. Yes, man.
Come, Omar, send a request. Omar,
tell him you carry 6 and friend them, man. You alone now can manage. I'll debate any 6 comrades who can give me a period in which the PNP governed Jamaica and it was success.
You better take over Canada.
You are the guys who caused a port like a resign, you know.
Hey, when the PNP tell you about crime, PNP can talk to us about crime. You know, hear them stop talking about crime now. Look how long we silence them on crime. They can't come to with crime.
Welcome, Omar.
Yeah.
Blessings and love. I don't understand why Jamaicans are like this. If you talk about something that they don't like, you're a PMP. And if you talk about something the JLP, this, I don't understand. I'm a Jamaican. The only politician I've ever voted for in this country is the Right Honorable Edward Siaga. None of you no go pound power 106, but defend Edward Siaga. Me do that. Uno go pound Omalo Lifer page 2020. How much time them ban me I defend Andrew Holness. Me and Andrew used to go school together. One who love call people PMP and because people don't agree if policy not right.
So who says that PNP, sir?
That do not invite me in the group. Look why come in PMP Omalo. Yem Omalo PMP. Listen where Omalo PMP say repeal of the act and repeal. And you're supposed to understand. Is when Michael Manley repeal the act of people allowing people to move their money out of Jamaica.
You're right.
That is what led to the fall.
Omalo, you are perfectly correct. Of course you're correct. You're correct.
So if you tell her that, man, because she jump up Omalo.
I am not reading the chat. I am only listening. Believe me, I wasn't even looking at the chat.
Tiago is the greatest leader.
If this is
The greatest leader ever come to Jamaica, ever live in Jamaica, and one of the greatest in the Western world.
Listen.
And I feel like our opportunity have died with Edward Seaga.
Listen, folks, I hate, and I've heard this before, and I've said it before. Sometimes we jump to conclusion to dub
Yes,
people.
man, if it tap him, man.
Watch me now. I know this brother here. This brother here is one of the warriors out there on the radio station. I call the radio station sometimes, and when I go on, him just come off, or sometimes he come off and him come on.
Omalo, PMP, Omalo, PMP.
No, we know of him being a PNP.
Sorry about that.
So,
I jump and I black me out all them group, you know, if the labor right group me going at them black me.
no, man, they're not supposed to.
Man.
Omalo, not everybody is the same. Omalo, not everybody is the same, because I was over Munchieb program with you already. And when she kept going and going, I wouldn't allow you to speak. I was the one that said I wanted to hear you, hear what you had to say, because the only way to teach people something is to allow people to speak. So not everybody wants to shut you up, and not everybody is calling you a PMP.
Munchieb is one of my warriors.
Well, I share your word.
Munchieb is a stalwart labor right. Munchieb is a stalwart labor right, and we never take nothing from her. But you cannot, everybody is not going to allow you to speak.
Hold on, man. Omalo.
I'm telling you who I engage with, and I went on Munchieb and explained something, and she does a blah, 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 blah.
Amalo. We're talking about the history.
We now reject her.
You can mute and make one chopper talk, please. Sorry.
Yeah, Omalo, we're talking about the 70s, the period in which the PNP wrecked this country, and we challenge the comrade them to come up and defend it. Because I'm of the view, that since 1962, there has not been a period that the PNP government.
You see, let me say that something. People always talk about the 60s, yeah? And they talk about the 60s. And this is what the thing where a lot of people, because you have the PMP, then we talk about. In the 60s, economic growth, but the people weren't feeling it. And this is where I come back and say, all of this started under Norman Washington Manley in the 50s, rally right over into the 60s. But nobody never talk about that the people weren't feeling it in the 50s. And I asked them, when we were building school in the 60s and building institutions, weren't the people feeling that, or we were supposed to give them handout? What were they supposed to feel? Because the British never leave no school here. The British never leave no institutions here. These things were being built in the 60s based on the economic growth that we have. So how do the people of Jamaica feel it? Do they feel it by you just handing them something, or you build the institution so they can benefit? And they can't answer. We all know that. In come 72, one of the best fiscal space any prime minister in Jamaica can ever get. Michael Manley got it. But Michael Manley was about the Black Power movement, and it was about his own ideology and philosophy and everything. Yeah. So what he did, he run with these things, because at the time in the 60s, coming to the 70s, the Black Power movement was all about socialism coming from Africa and throughout America. And Michael Manley jump on it. You couldn't jump on these type of things in America backyard, the most powerfulest country, and control the SWIFT system, where you see them and make all these changes in a certain South America, from Chile to Honduras to Uruguay to all of these Guatemala, and move all of these socialist government. What do you think was going to happen in Jamaica? And Michael Manley see what happened to Fidel Castro in the 60s. We just coming out of colonialism with the high school education in Jamaica at that time was grade 6. How can you put up this country against America? So it was all about Michael, and we understand these things. We understand these things. It was Edward Seaga, the greatest leader, the one that gave us the pride, the self-esteem in our black people in Jamaica, that pushed our culture, reggae music, that gave us a Heroes Day where we are celebrating this month. A Imgiwe Hero, a Imgiwe Festival where we can celebrate as a people, to celebrate our history as black people. Him carry revivalists up a Jamaican house and make revivalists celebrate as the part of Christianity that was never celebrated in Christianity. Siago did these things. It is Siago who, when I went on Power 106 and them said, name some things where Siago do. I'm going to say, well, you have Petro Jam because Siago negotiate with ESO. He never says he's going to nationalize it. And we get Petro Jam. Yeah? We have Jam Pro. We have UDC. We have Exim Bank. We have student loan. And we just keep naming the greatest institutional builder in the Western world. That's why I'm so sometimes really upset when people try to make out Dr. Clark as the greatest financial minister in Jamaica. No financial minister in Jamaica as great as Edward Siaga, because none of them build institutions like him. And all of the institutes, it was Edward Siaga who reformed National Housing Trust and turn it into the type of the entity it is now. Because it was a lot of...
I want to ask you a question though. Why are you, to me, I don't know if it's compassion, if it's anger. Are you angry? Is it anger? Are you angry? Is it people say, oh, they're passionate about politics? Why is this in your base? Why is this heavy base?
I'm passionate about Jamaica.
Hold on, my question isn't finished yet. Hold on, baby, I'm not done yet. Are you passionate and are you wild up about this administration government now? Yes, JLP, but are you passionate about Nigel Clark and Andrew Holness, or is it just about Siaga?
I am passionate about Jamaica and the development of Jamaica, and anything that threatens the development of Jamaica, I'm going to speak out against it.
The man is 100% correct, man. Let me tell you something.
What are you angry and frustrated about?
The man is right. The man have all right to be passionate.
Nothing.
He's perfectly correct. He's not angry. He's right. Let me tell you something what we fail to do, because I myself sometimes we get caught up in the excitement of what's happening today. Take nothing away from Dr. Nigel Clark. He's a genius, great guy. But let me tell you something. It is unfair to even compare. There's no leader that this country has had that can be compared to Edward Siaga. None. And we need to put Edward Siaga in a box by himself and not leave it there. So. None.
National hero.
None.
I know that.
None. Absolutely none. But you, Philippian, you have the list of institutions built by Edward Siaga. 100 and odd institutions. Most of those institutions that we inherit today and we are living off today were created by Eddie Siaga. It is Eddie Siaga who rebuilt the country in the 1980s, you know.
Yes.
The middle class that the PNP wiped out in the 70s. Eddie Siaga rebuilt it in the 80s. And the PNP came back again in the 90s and wiped them out.
National Housing Trust is nothing more than a 2.0 of Jamaica Mortgage Bank. Jamaica Mortgage Bank.
Yes, because Jamaica Mortgage Bank was there before NHT.
And that's what was the purpose of it. But when I told people... But hold on, Amalia, you ever listen to that discussion I had with Cliff Hughes? Took about 2 days for us to go through it. When I took the song that was done by Never Martin, and I pull it to pieces and prove to Cliff Hughes that 90% of what the PNP claim were their initiative in that song was false, including NHT. Because I keep saying that Matalan and them, they took, there's no new initiative. As a matter of fact, the only new initiative that the PNP came with in the 70s was when Michael Manley visited Cuba, and they gave him a helicopter ride, and he saw those little, what you call, micro dams. And he came back to Jamaica and built a few micro dams. Jamaica used about 265 million gallons of water per day. And you ask any comrade to tell you how much water system the PNP make.
None.
You ask them. Ask the comrades to tell you what is the PNP's contribution to Jamaica's water consumption of 270 million gallons per day. How much them bill?
Edward Siaga was removed from government by the PSOJ in Jamaica because the PSOJ wanted one thing that they never had in the 70s. They never had the ability to move their money out of Jamaica, and they want the Open Account Act to repeal, so they could liberate, they could liberalize the movement of capital.
Well, that is what liberalization did.
Okay.
That's
And
what liberalization did, my brother. It freed up
in 1993,
the movement.
the Open Account Act repeal
But
that
what I'm
led.
saying, Amalio,
Yeah.
that was done by a single policy, right? It was done based on liberalization. Deregulation was another one where you sell out the country's asset to private interests. They did that. And they also instituted removing regulations from everything. That's why the economy was a deregulated economy. That's why the banks were able to use people asset and take out loan for themselves, because there was no system of control and checks and balance in the bank. So deregulation, privatization, and liberalization were not the brainchild, but Michael Manley championed these things.
Because in the 80s, Edward Seaga was deregulating the economy,
Yeah, but it was done in a controlled way.
Just a minute. What Edward Seaga was doing was that he created cushion to deal with what he was going to do. He never just do things without creating the cushion to deal with it. Yeah, Michael Manley never understand nothing.
When the American assisted us in the 1970s to kick Michael Manley's ass, part of the arrangement was for us to pursue privatization.
But was to pursue Margaret Thatcher and Reagan liberalization, neoliberal plan.
Neoliberal policy. Let me tell you something. When Edward Seaga decided that we cannot pursue those policies wholesale, we have to do it in moderation. For example, as part of privatization, it means that we would have to. A matter of fact, one of the ultimatum given to us by the IMF at the time, because the IMF was an instrument used by the United States to achieve their common goal back home.
Yeah, they were the ones that were
Rockefellers. There was a committee that was put together by the United States, which saw people like Rockefeller and them came down. All the big businessmen in America came down in 1980 to 81. And their premier goal was to assist the Jamaican government, Eddie Seaga that is, in pursuing deregulation, privatization, and liberalization. A privatized economy in Jamaica would benefit the US at the time, because they would be right there with their money to soak up and mop up all the assets. They wanted us to sell every God Almighty thing that had Jamaica on it. They wanted us to sell it.
My prime minister was a state capitalist. He never did that.
Nationalization. And they wanted him also to relieve, I think it was 60,000 or 25,000 public sector workers he could have laid off. And that is when Eddie Seaga started to fall out of grace, you know.
He said, show me where it works.
Because when he started to question the policies of the IMF, who was dictating to Eddie Seaga what they wanted him to do, and Eddie Seaga, being the genius he is, saying, you show me where that work. I can't work yourself. And Eddie Seaga refused and defied the orders of the IMF and said, we are not going to lay off our people. Just like in COVID, where we didn't lay off a single one, we're not going to lay off anybody. And we ride through the storms, and we pegged the dollar, and we held the dollar steady right up until 1989 when the PNP came in and started.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. Let me say something. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I really don't want to really talk too much against the labor rights, against Andrew. But I really don't like Nigel Clark policies.
Tell me which part of Nigel Clark policy you don't like.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's from 1996.
Yes.
It has transitioned into a finance capitalism, where the financial sector control all of the control in Jamaica. Yeah, where everybody now becomes a slave to the financial sector. we borrow, we do everything through the financial sector. Any living, we have to live it, eat, drink, and through the financial sector. That's how the economy evolved. They call it the shock doctrine. When the economy mashed down and you build it back the way how you want to build it. So 1996, the shock doctrine took place, the meltdown, and now we are operating a finance capitalism. There is no difference with what Omar Davis used to do. Different from what Nigel Clark is doing. The
Bullshit. Bullshit.
You ask me something. Let me point it out. And if I know so. The only difference one is doing. One used to come to the people and tax the people, which was Omar Davis. Now Nigel Clark do a thing where he set the inflation rate at a certain level, where prices rise at a certain level, where prices rise, taxes rise. And that is just no different.
I don't understand what you mean.
Taxes.
I don't understand what you mean, because just to make a comparison to Omar, if you let me tell you this, Omalia, if you equate what Dr. Davis has done and compare Nigel Clark's policies and the JLP policies to that of Dr. Omar Davis, that's blasphemy. That's blaspheming.
No. If you understand economics, you understand exactly what I'm saying.
I do understand economics, but there's no comparison there.
There are different terms in economics.
Listen,
and I don't think you understand.
Dr. Omar Davis pursued a high interest rate policy. This government set what is called a floating range, an inflation range, right?
No, so fixed inflation at 4 to 6. That prices rise.
You can't fix at 4 to 6. Under Omar Davis, was there a fixed range or was there a fixed rate?
But you see, he never had to do that because he was going to
ask a question, man. Was there a fixed rate?
He was going to come to the people and tax the people.
No,
he never did.
No, man. Omar, you have to answer the question.
I said no.
Under Omar Davis, what did we have? A fixed range or a fixed rate?
No.
You can't answer no. Is that a no answer?
Is that no answer? I never said no fixed range.
Me ask a question. There's two things. It is either you have a fixed rate, where you say the rate, the inflation rate is 5%, or you have a range. It is between 4 and 6%.
He never said none.
Who? Omar Davis?
Omar Davis. I never hear Omar Davis set a fixed rate.
What are you talking about? Omar Davis, matter of fact, Omar Davis started out with a fixed rate of interest rate. And when they liberalize the dollar, you understand economics, so you know when you liberalize the dollar, what happened? When you don't have net international reserve, there's a run on the bank.
There's a run on the
bank now, you know, because everybody knows there's no regulation as to how much US dollars you can get. So people just want US dollars, and then there's a run on the banks, and there's no control. So that height, that's why the interest rate went above the roof. And there was no cap, there was no control.
Inflation. Tell me where we set the inflation rate.
But that is going to drive it.
Rate. You don't set
going to drive it up in my brethren. Inflation, inflation is not something that is set on local terms. You know, inflation is influenced.
You can set inflation.
Hold on a second. You can't set inflation rate. Inflation is measured and is impacted by international activities, because we're not self-sustained. So we don't decide what inflation is.
Yes, we can decide the inflation.
No, we can't. Unless we are living in a vacuum, unless we are feeding ourselves, unless we don't import nothing.
No, brother, you don't understand economy.
What do you mean we don't understand economy? Unless you don't import nothing, so you're not impacted by external shocks.
No. America import almost everything we then get.
How happen?
And them keep them inflation rate at 2. I set them inflation rate at 2%.
They don't set no inflation rate. America inflation rate move up and down. Fluctuate. It's a floating inflation rate, just like Jamaica.
Amado,
it's a floating rate. What are you talking about?
Go up to as much as 12%.
What are you talking about? America's inflation rate
in America went as
worse than Jamaica.
Last year, Omalo. Don't bother with that, Omalo.
What are you talking about?
Understand.
If that's the case, my 401k.
How can you live in a global market and talk about check inflation rate?
Be at the same place the whole time.
You don't
Brother,
buy oil for yourself. You don't buy
brother,
food.
you don't
Everything you have to
understand.
import. And you tell me, say, you have to set inflation rate?
No, brother, is either you're not, is either you are trying to defend something when it makes sense, or you don't understand economics.
But Amalia, just slow down, man. Tell me if it makes sense.
Yeah.
How can you have a set
They don't set inflation
rate of
rate.
inflation?
They set a target. They set a target. It's not inflation rate they set.
2% in America, bro.
They set a target.
The world set, every central bank set a target.
Correct.
And saying the
What is
target by
Jamaica's
what?
inflation rate today?
They set a target.
They set a target. Maintain the target by what they do inside their country.
Based on policies. But it's not the inflation rate them set. Them set a target to meet, to level of the inflation. Because
Omalo, whenever inflation get over the 6% range, what policies does the government of Jamaica change to get it back down?
Them use one policy that is one of the worst policy for the people of Jamaica.
What policy them change to get it back down?
Interest rate, the worst policy.
No. Whenever inflation get out of control, the Bank of Jamaica put money to get it back down. They don't change. Hold on, my brethren. Let me explain something to Amalia. Amalia,
the only reason the Bank of Jamaica put money to quench the run on the US
and that slow the rate of inflation.
That helps slow the rate of inflation.
Exactly. And the only reason why the PNP could not have done that, the PNP and Amalia, hold on a second. The PNP could not have done that in the 1990s. Why? Because when there's a demand on the US dollar, there was insufficient net international reserve. So the Bank of Jamaica did not have any money and could not cushion the effect of a sliding dollar.
But Chaka, just let me say this to you. Why are we talking to this guy when the international communities are looking at Jamaica as an example of a country?
But I don't know where him get him argument from, because the minute the man equate, let me tell you, Amalia, the minute you part company,
the IMF is a criminal organization.
The IMF of the past. The IMF of the past had policies in there. Hold on a second, Amalia. Amalia, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Because you cannot tell me today what policy the IMF has within its mechanism now that is criminal. You could have said that about the IMF in the 1980s. Because I told you a while ago.
No, Chops, can I say something?
1 second. I told you just now that the IMF of the 1980s was a tool that the United States used to deal and to get their way.
The same IMF. They work
to mop up assets all over the world.
Yeah.
But the IMF today, at that time, the IMF had some rigid plans in there. Today, the IMF is different.
That is why IMF failed Bruce Golding, because Bruce Golding wasn't carrying out the financial economic plans. That's why they kick out Bruce Golding out of power.
But you don't understand that. No. Let me tell you. You know why Bruce Golding you know what caused Bruce Golding to fail the critical IMF test, my brother? Is because you know why the PNP was able to carry through? The PNP was able to negotiate with the PNP unions and gave them a wage freeze, and not a single one of them ball. Right? They didn't complain, they hold strain and they follow through. While the JLP could not have the same favor with the PNP unions. They must understand the political undertone that caused Bruce Golding to come under pressure.
The real policies of the IMF, Bruce Golding couldn't pass them because Bruce Golding was a Seagoite.
No, he could have passed them. It was a single act. Hello, it was a single act that caused Bruce Golding to fail the IMF test. One single act. Hold on a second. The Nurses Association made a demand on Audrey Shaw, claiming. Hold on a second.
we use those little things to make it seem like those are the things that really do it.
Hold on a
But it's
second,
not.
my brother, because you're talking.
Omalo, you've gone
Listen,
far as you know, Omalo.
you're talking garbage. That's what he's talking,
All
and
right, well,
he's not
all
gonna
right,
get away with it.
no, hold
You
on,
must
Chops.
justify the rubbish you're
No,
talking.
Chops, cool down. Just switch the subject.
No, it's not a matter of cool down. If he's going to say something, he must be able to defend him point.
Yeah, but the point I'm
And if he
making.
can't defend him point, that's garbage.
No, but Chops, you think my position on the IMF, and people need to see it this way, right? The IMF is a godless organization. Because the IMF never, whether now or any time in the history of the world, the IMF never called no country and say, come borrow me money. It's when country run them economy real bad in a shitty state, then them have that as a result.
And the US use it against country.
Hello?
It is based on the treaties. It is based on the treaties that we have signed, that we have given up our economic independence to these international organizations that make us run to the IMF.
What are we supposed to do?
So, Omalo, is Jamaica running to the IMF now?
Jamaica is in a very terrible state, bro. We're not running on the IMF. But we are what? Jamaica is in a terrible state.
When?
Omalo.
Hold on a second. Hold on. No, don't take him off, man. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Hold on. Let me ask. Hold on one second, man. Don't do that, man. Omalio, you make a statement now, and you have to go justify your statement. You said Jamaica is in a terrible state. Explain to me why you said that.
If you have a growing economy, why would you want to sail in the future your taxis at the airport where you are not sure of how you are going to fill those gaps over the next 12 years? And then again, you are borrowing the money not to invest in things that are going to develop the growth of Jamaica, but you are investing it in things that is going to just be consumption right at this moment.
My dear,
hold on a second.
My dear, it is called futures. It is called futures.
But hold on a second now. Let me ask him this question now. Let me ask him this question. So, Omalio, if the sale of the interest or the profit, let's call it the profit in NBJ, right? If it is that we have struck that deal and we are using the money for infrastructure development, for example, road, water, are you saying that those things don't contribute to the further growth and development of the airport? So, for example, if you borrow some money, if we take that money, $480 million US, and we take that money and we improve on our tourism sector, we improve on our road network, we improve on our water supply, which is going to boost our productivity, are you saying that that is not going to trigger more activities at the airport, which will also increase the revenue coming in at the airport?
I love the way you said that. If we spend into things that are going to bring the growth to Jamaica.
But Omalio, did the finance minister not specifically said to you what the money was going to be used for? No, that's bullshit.
That's bullshit, Omalo.
That's a lie you're telling. You're talking garbage.
This man is a PNP. PNP said to contact them things.
Hold on a second, man. Let me ask you this. Omalio, tell us where you get that information from. Where the Minister of Finance... Hold on a second, man. Hold on a second. Omalio.
The finance minister had a $45 billion budget gap. A gap to fill in the budget.
Hello,
he never
sir, stop. I'm asking you one simple question. No. You're going all over the place. You need to stay one place. We're gonna have this conversation because you're not going to leave here with no bullshit. We're asking you one simple question. Where did the finance minister told you that the $25,000 or the $20,000 that was given as tax return is coming from the $480 million in the deal that was forged the other day? Where did the finance minister tell us that? Tell us that. Where? When did he tell us that?
And while he's doing that, tell him to
can't
define
answer.
the word
You can't
futures.
answer.
Futures. Tell him to define the term in investment, futures.
Madam, I wanted to respond. I want to respond to the salient question. I want to hear the response. So
The other thing is, did Omar not know that the deal that was struck by Dr. Nigel Clark has absolutely zero impact on the country's budget or the country's debt?
At
6.75%. It doesn't affect the airport either.
And it doesn't affect the revenue at the airport either?
6.75%, 12 years to pay it back.
Huh? And you're saying that these things are bad economic policy? Are you out of your mind, Amalia?
No, other countries are looking at what he did to do the same thing to raise money.
I find this, but Marcia, I find this crazy. When a Jamaican who says he understands the economy.
Oh, please.
He understands
nothing.
Don't understand nothing.
And when he can come here, and let me tell you something, man. Me like when he come in, man.
But Chaps, I said it, I asked him the question, why are you so angry about Nigel Clark and this government? What is it that makes you angry? I knew something was wrong with this guy.
Yes, but he can say what he wants, My argument is he must be able to defend point. Don't make him defend him point. And him can't defend me, tell you already, All you have to do is to ask a comrade to give you an explanation or to tell you or to give you the evidence. If you can provide to me, if he was able to say to me, if he was able to say to me that the finance minister said this on the 15th of February or last 2 weeks ago he said it, then I would have to stop. But he cannot provide any argument.
He said he's not a comrade.
The first thing him say when you can say the guy no know nothing is when him talk about government set inflation. Government control inflation. That's what they do. They don't set it.
But hold on, when the man said we set inflation, and I ask him, how can you do that when inflation is impacted by external activities? How will you get them people from, man?
Let him respond to the question. I want to hear him respond to your question.
Omalo, unmute your mic and come back.
He might read.
Peter Bunting. I
want to hear his response to the question.
All right, he's back. Let him answer now.
All right, come back. You're going to do research. Come back.
Y'all keep talking. But I know y'all got to defend a point. And that is the reason why I said, sometimes I don't like to come and leave.
You don't want to be challenged. Look here, Amalia, it's the same difficulty you had the other day. Hey, listen, the fellow on Nationwide News had the same problem with you the other day. You remember that video? We cut it and put it out there. Because you don't listen. Listen
to what?
But he had to rub you out to the dirt the other day. You forget?
Who?
You forgot that exchange you had with what's the guy name? At Nationwide on the evening program. What's name?
Ricardo.
Siobhan.
No, not Ricardo.
Yo, bro.
Siobhan had to deal with the proper.
Nationwide and on the ground come tell me how much them respect me. Nationwide have channel where sit down and listen to everything when me say. And Nationwide not play with me.
Nationwide could never listen to that bullshit where you just know.
What time it is about me.
Omalo, when did Dr. Clark tell you that 11%, $11 billion out of the money was going to the tax credit? When did he say that?
Tell us that.
The Nigel Clark have to tell on that phone and understand the $45 billion that he had.
You're talking bullshit.
Omalo, when did the finance minister told you?
You know what other people be talking, just doing that, bro.
You dance around, man. Answer the question, man.
Chopper, you know who he reminds me of?
So,
you know
the
greatest financer in Jamaica.
I will see you all.
Ask for come here grind. Yeah, ask for grind for the
I will see you all when this economy fall flat on its face. I will see
back and
Omalo, you brief Joshua.
Go back to the research.
Boy, I labor right. About him now, comrade.
Neighbor right.
I like a check from Peter Bunting.
Real,
I
go back
like
and
a
research
check
what
from
her
Peter Bunting.
futures.
Come
That's what
on.
you
Boy, I
need to
labor
do.
right. Cut him
What
loose.
is
Man.
Say goodbye,
Axi
man.
have a grind. Axi have a grind.
Come
Axi
on.
have a grind, man.
Both
Axi
him
have
a
a
labor
grind.
right.
Oh, man, you sure you
I
brave?
collect him check from Peter Bunting now.
Both him a labor right.
Boy,
Piece
labor
of
right
shit.
there.
The man remind me of what him name there. Hyman. Same type of people. No, no,
Roxanne Hyman, there you go, showing you brief.
But
Yeah,
look how him tricking her. Look how him tricking her. He came up here and speak highly speak highly, guys. Chops. Chops. Listen, for a minute he had you there, darling. Because he speak highly of Thiago. And you was running with him. And I said, something is wrong.
But hold on, I still don't take away that from him. I don't take away that from him. There are several persons who love Thiago who hate Nigel Clark.
But he uses the argument to get a platform so he can speak.
True.
No.
Catch me.
Listen to this guy.
Catch me.
No, Angel, I think you have spot him out pretty early, don't say
Yes.
that.
But I said it in the box to say which guy graduated from Harvard with a PhD in finance and economy.
Yeah, but my question is whether he was PNP or JLP. You must have the conversation.
Yeah, you have the conversation.
You must have it.
And you're right.
Chopper.
You're right, Chops. You're right. You should have the conversation. You did great, Chops. You did.
We make an ass of him. We make an
Say
ass of
friend
him.
deal that tell you
Exactly,
you good.
Master. You have to do that. You have to give
Boy,
the
Chopper,
platform.
he catch me. Me not tell a lie, he catch me. When you talk about Thiago, did catch me.
Hold on, guys. Beg on a second there, please. Let me just say something. We have 250. I make an announcement that Kizzy is just making. And Mr. Hugh Richards come in, guys. Everything between here and next week, Monday, will go to benefit Mr. Meshach Willis. Right? Everything. Mr. Meshach Willis is a victim of the PMP policies of the 90s. Right. So there you go. Anything you go that goes to Chuck Finley here will go to Mr. Willis. Hugh Richards, the dependent listener, sir.
Will not bring you Richards on the box.
No.
I can't come down, you take him up. I can't come down.
Hugh Richards is on a shadow band.
If it's a PMP, bring him come.
Chopper, you know party man now the same place. Me I know man you love woman now the same place. That's a party man. I'm gonna that.
Nathaniel, stop that. Behave yourself, Nathaniel.
No, me not make do that to you, Richards.
No, not do that to you.
I will call him all sort of things, but no, I have a reason why I will not add you, Richards.
Why not you? Tell me.
Why not? Add him, Chops, please.
Later we tell you, Chops.
No man, but Angel won't talk to you now because he write in splice of Angel video.
Him a one of them. Yes.
I can't come down.
Splice video team.
I will come down. I will come down.
Yes.
You need to talk to him because he sent me a personal message too, so I need to talk to him. Bring him up,
man,
please.
Hear what you do, Angel. You have to put up the personal message in the background.
Look,
I can come down if you want to add him.
You Richards are one of the guys that were growing in a splice video. Them even timeless.
Yes.
What anybody in timeless? I want next one when he Sherman or something like so. But you Richards and timeless.
Yes, you Richards.
They will take leave a video and splice it.
No, I don't put up you, man. I ask you
But let me
something.
say
I ask you a question.
Put up you, please. Yes, put up you.
Nobody bring on a PMP, man.
You are not a PNP, you are
Somebody
comrade.
put up somebody.
You is not a PNP name, a comrade.
My people.
Anyway,
I have a reason, like I say, I will not add you.
Chops,
Sir.
I have a question to pose and anyone can understand because this is what happened. Name me one sector of the economy. Let's say we have bauxite, tourism, and we had manufacturing and so forth. Tell me something that PMP had, any sector economy PMP had created.
Nothing.
Buster was bauxite, right?
Why you full of jokey,
That
man?
was tourism.
Huh?
Buster backside, Thiago tourism.
Siaga towards them. And when they called to the call center, Siaga started that, right?
Yeah, man, of course.
And the manufacturing sector,
Lightburn, Robert Lightburn.
Tell me one that PMP started.
No,
You can't tell the one scamming. Scamming.
About crash program.
Eh?
About the crash program.
Crash program is a drain on the economy. Crash program is a drain.
So no.
Cash program take from the economy, you know.
So on a serious note, them have one sector that they built or start nothing in.
Jeep.
Oh God.
Cash flows.
No, because the young boy them say Peter Bunting.
But another thing I noticed, I say, chaps, correct me if I'm wrong. I noticed PMP talking about economy now and economy and NIR and reserve. One time that was never the talking point, you know. Since when they start talking like that?
Since Andrew tell them say it can yam. Once you go to them belly, they love it, you know. When Andrew tell them say it can yam.
No, on a serious note, because I know as a fact, even PMP, they were embarrassed to talk about the private sector. They were very embarrassed to talk about stuff like that. GDP, they would never talk that, none at all in the history of the country. So recently I've been listening to them, they're talking about, like there are some economists and talking about all, they're taking up the labor talking point. It is really funny.
That is it. Since Andrew tell them say economy can't, remember I know, I said it's common sense. PMP and them supporters equate everything to them belly. So Andrew tell them the other day say economy can't yam. Find that then we stop talking about it.
Chuck, that's so true, Chuck. That is so true.
Yes.
I love it.
Remember, guys, yesterday, a PMP supporter was on a platform and he was saying that slavery was better than now because during slavery, food was free. That is the thinking of PMP. He said during slavery, food is free.
Hands out, man. Love hands out.
Hands out, them belly.
Yes.
That's why they tell us the road can't eat. New police station can't eat.
A hospital can't eat.
A hospital can't eat. Everything is to them belly. So then tell us that slavery was good because the slave master used to give them food. That's why Mark Golden come back now. I promise to extend parts. Give them some more food. Yes, Bloom, see him so. But these people and people again, I am not telling a lie on these people, you know. In fact, the people them say slavery was good because food did free. That is the thing.
Right?
Chuck, I don't believe you.
Why? Hey, sorry,
it's about the belly, right?
Screen record, I know. Esmuda have it.
But guys, can you imagine that? Just listen. Just take a step.
Come me people. Anything you're saying, I go to Meshach Willis. Help him out.
Slavery was good because
the food was free.
Oh my
God.
God.
Have to back you up on that, Chuck. Me hear them over reading with it.
Thank you, sir. Me glad excellent did it.
Excellent to hear it too.
All right.
My God.
Man say slavery was good because the food was free.
Wow.
Yeah, them over radio all this morning for one piece of thing over there for the private.
So that is the mindset where we are dealing with. That are the mindset where we have a deal with.
Which one of them says so?
I'm sorry, I never catch his name, man.
You feel like said the fat man.
No, I never the fat man. I never him. But it's a Rasta man too, you know. And that's the fun, it was a Rasta man.
Well, I think your name most honorable you. So I call yourself.
Hey, Chuck.
Yes.
Oh my God. Chuck.
I was there too. I was there.
Good night, guys.
Good night,
There was
kid.
a lady. There was a lady on Chopper's Live this morning. Her name is Fluffy. She's a teacher. She was speaking this morning on Chopper's Live, and the live got cut because Chopper went away. And we were hoping to get her back in the box if she's available, because I see person saying she's on the live.
She's
Miss,
here
if
now?
you're on the live, please come and finish what you were saying this morning, because a lot of persons were very tuned in and we found it so interesting and wanted to hear you as a
Fluffy's
teacher.
here. Just send us a request if you're here.
So if you're here, please just write something in the comments so we can give you a box. Please, Miss Fluffy, come up, come talk to me.
Yeah, man. I think they came up and was talking about her earlier. Forgetting, yes. Okay, Fluffy, let me give you a follow. Now you can send us a request. Well, let me find out empty box.
I will jump the box so she can come up. I want to hear her.
All right, Kizzy, thanks.
And another quick point, chops, you see? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, man, we are hear you.
Another quick point. I don't know if you guys ever check this, right? And this is a serious thing. Like, if you compare Jamaica to all the English-speaking Caribbean island, right? The Bahamas, which are the Angola, Barbados, Trinidad, Grand Cayman, right? Jamaica, in terms of salary, everything way below these countries. And yet still, before Michael took over, we were way ahead of these countries.
Way ahead.
So that is something to think about it. I think the average salary in the Bahamas right now is about $31,000 per year, compared to our 9,000. So the country regressed significantly under the PMP.
Under the two PMP period, then the 70s and the 90s.
The 70s and the 90s, yes. Technically, they get 2 chances, and the 2 times they fail.
The 2 times they fail. One time, in the 70s, they cost us 25% of our GDP, and in the 90s, they cost us 40%.
But that is the problem. And if you add up all them negative growth for the entire amount of years they had, I did it once, they end up with double-digit negative.
Double-digit, here you go. Good afternoon, Fluffy. Good night. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome back. I was told you have a lot.